It's not always typical, but Navy Federal will give big limits, okay, to low and mediocre scores when you build a relationship, okay? NASA Federal Credit Union, $12,000, okay? And remember, Navy Federal, that one was on a low to mediocre score. NASA Federal, this person had like a 640 credit, okay? I show you these because banks will give you a $10 or $12,000 limit at a 600 and a 640 credit score. Okay, obviously, it takes building relationships and maybe applying multiple times, but I want you to understand that if a bank will give you 15,000 on a 600 credit score, most of us here probably have that. Okay, what would it look like if you had a 700? What if I told you that because this bank will give someone with a 600 12,000, they'll probably give you 20,000. Better yet, they may even give you 2 credit cards. Okay, that's just the way it works. That's why it's so important to get to a 750 credit score. That's why it's so important to get to a 754 credit score or better. Okay, you don't need to be at an 800. All right, 850. Typically, you'll get to that point when you're up there and you have hundreds of, and if not hundreds of thousands in credit, okay, and years of history in credit. Anything between 700 and 800 is good, okay? Now, who am I? Okay, I'm Nicholas Burns, okay, aka Mr. Fund Yourself, aka Biz Nick, Credit Talk. If you see me on TikTok and other platforms, but I've been an entrepreneur for the last 8 years, okay? I'm from PG County, Maryland, and I just moved to Tampa, okay? I secured my first 50K in credit in 2020 through Navy Federal. If y'all want to write these down, Capital One, FNBO, American Express, Alliant Credit Union, and Bank of America, okay? I've also helped fund over 1 million in credit in just the last 3 years. And I've worked with and been mentored by the top leaders in the business credit space. Now, let me tell you how I discovered consumer law. I was working full-time in IT, living paycheck to paycheck and making little money with network marketing. My mentor in the companies told me we could secure $100,000 in credit, but I had 2 lates and was getting denied from every bank. He then connected me with a credit repair specialist who told me all the benefits of credit, and the bill ended up being $38.24 to fix my 2 lates, okay? It seemed fair, okay, because, $3,800 to $100K, you can't really beat that. And so I didn't really talk about the benefits. The benefits of credit, what he told me was that, hey, look, you can get $100,000 in business credit in your personal side, and you can get that in your business side. And at first, me, who's never even had $100,000 ever before, and my goal was to get to $100,000. And I saw it was 2 ways. Either I can try to do it at my job where I pay bills and things of that nature, and I couldn't even get over the hump. Try to do it in my business, but I was investing every single dollar into my business that I made. Or he says, you can actually get this in credit. Okay, you can get that $100,000 faster than you can make $100,000. Okay. Then you can take the $100,000 to make you another $100,000. Okay. And so that's me paraphrasing. Obviously, he spoke a little bit more about that, and we'll talk about the benefits even more. But he spoke this to me, and the gears started turning. All right. So $3,800, that seemed like a well worth an investment, and he had a payment plan. So I was like, all right, that's solid. Started my payment plan. Within a month later, COVID happened. He said his wife got COVID, and long story short, I didn't hear from him again. But even though it was unfortunate to me to be in a position to where, because how many of us been in a situation you pay for credit and boom, the person goes away, or you're in this constant cycle where you're constantly paying them and they're not actually doing anything, sending you letters, telling you what's going on, letting you know how to do it. We've all may have been there, especially if you are here today, okay? But the beauty about that was he had a whole client manager that literally had all the letters, templates, software for me to be able to read and look at the information about the jargon, the templates, the letters, the resources, how to opt out the secondary bureaus, how to who to send it to, credit bureaus. And then I started to look it up even more and read books on it and watch YouTube videos and attend classes and things of that nature. Fast forward, I removed those lates myself. I got my first 5-figure credit card of $10,000, and I purchased my new home all in 6 months. Okay. Now this is in 2020. I was 23 years old. I'm 27 now. Okay. I didn't know how this would change my life. Okay. It was my first house. So I struggled that first year with bills and debt, and I had to prepare again. But what was I going to do with all the debt? I heard about remittance and started researching everything I could find about it because I could not get over the hump. I figured out the credit. So I said, all right, maybe I can figure out the debt. Maybe it's something I can do with the debt. And then I found this House Joint Resolution 192. If you want to find this website, it's called, if you look up, I'll just type it in the chat, JR 192, and then Education Center.com. In Google, if you type House Joint Resolution 192, educationcenter.com in Google, you'll be able to find this full picture. And better yet, if you just look up House Joint Resolution 192, you'll actually find the actual constitutional form. But I'm gonna just use this as an example because it has the key points that I want to talk about now. It says on June 5th, in 1933, Congress enacted House Joint Resolution 192 to suspend the gold standard and abrogate the gold clause. This resolution declared that whereas the holding or dealing in gold may affect the public interest and therefore subject to proper regulation and restriction, okay? And whereas the existing emergency, which is the Emergency Banking Act, which was the United States declaring bankruptcy, okay, has disclosed that the provision of the obligations would purport to give the obligee a right to require payment in gold or a particular kind of coin or currency are inconsistent with the declared policy of Congress in the payment of debts. Okay. So to me, how I interpreted that was the United States can't regulate money and couldn't regulate gold. So this is why they had to suspend the gold. If you went bankrupt, all right, who is coming to you for you to regulate their money? Okay. So technically there is no real money that is being passed around in the United States. Okay. Around this time, this is when the fiat money was created. Okay. This resolution declared that any obligation requiring a payment in gold or a particular kind of coin or currency or an in amount in money policy, and every obligation herefore or hereinafter shall be discharged upon payment dollar for dollar in any coin or currency, which at the time of payment is legal tender for public and private debts. All right. House Joint Resolution 192 prohibits the payment of debt and substitutes in its place a discharge of an obligation. Most of you guys don't know that the dollar bill is a discharged dollar. Okay. But what if I told you that your contract is just looking for you to discharge it? Okay. And what if I told you there was multiple ways to discharge your debt and discharge your obligation? See, the definition of discharge means transferring the obligation from one party to the next. Okay. It doesn't mean nobody's going to pay it. It means someone else will. Okay. But under the law, it says that it prohibits payment of debts and substitutes it with a discharge. All right. So that's just a little background information on how this, just to build your confidence and empower you to take action on this, because most people think you can't discharge debt. Okay. And then in that very section, there was no stipulation say you have to do this way or have to do that way. It just says, hey, discharge the debt. Now they have it in other sections on how to properly discharge debt, but that right there is just the premise of where that comes from. So when people say, hey, well, debt is, there and so on and so forth, that act is still around. Now, I didn't know how this would change my life. I zeroed one debt after another and became debt free. And I got a 750 credit score. And then I decided to talk about my success in the laws online. Okay. I started to see how powerful it was to know and apply consumer law, and plus how many people needed it. Since then, I've launched courses, coaching, and consulting programs, from the 750 Credit Accelerator, from the Complete Debt Guide, right, until now, the Fund Yourself Academy. I've been blessed to network with and advise the top leaders. We got Him 500. We got Haitian CEO. We got Mr. Grateful. Okay, all of these are top leaders in their spaces, from Haitian CEO from the business credit, Him 500 to all around financial literacy and investing, to Mr. Grateful from AI and Chat GBT. Okay, then we got CEO Matty J. All right, he's big on the playmaking. He's big on making plays. We got my guy Nehemiah Davis. He's big on event space and business building and marketing. And we got 19 Keys. Okay, we all love 19 Keys and the empowerment and the messages that he's able to give us. And when I'm not helping entrepreneurs make more money, I've tried to help the less fortunate through the charity that I'm partnered with, through Project Feeding Kids. Okay, and these people that are in this picture here, these are all my business partners. All right, most of these people here walked away from their full-time job. Okay, making well over 5 figures a month. In the top left-hand corner, the white guy and the black bald guy. I mean, it's a lot of black shiny head guys here, but the black bald guy in a green suit, that was the first millionaire that really took us under his wing. Okay. And before I even got online, that was one of the first people that taught me about wealth principles. So essentially, I'm here standing today, being able to speak to you guys with this type of level and confidence because of these people I met. Okay. And now, even still today, being able to impact and feed children, we was able to help feed over 1.8 million children last year. Okay. Why? Because it's important, right? I learned very early in my entrepreneurship journey that doing this is never for the money. Okay. It's always about being able to do something big for yourself and for your family, being able to do something big for your community. Okay. So if that's important to you, drop a 4 in the chat. So let's talk about how to fund yourself. But before we even start, does it work? Okay, now we have some of the people that's a part of the community that may have seen some of these. He was able to discharge a $160 bill. My guy Muhammad, he was able to get a resolution pay from BG&E, and he got a $45 resolution pay. George Talamentes, he was able to get a successful discharge of $50,000 from Navient. Okay, and the list goes on and on. This guy was able to discharge a almost $5,000 debt. Okay, and then the inquiry removal, you can call any credit bureau and remove all your inquiries in a span of 15 minutes. I had a couple of my clients, couple of my mentees get to do that as well. This guy, he was able to remove 18, and then another guy was able to remove 3. Now, here are some hard truths, and I do spend a little bit of time on this part because this is probably the most essential part before you go on any entrepreneurship journey. Now, number 1, delayed gratification. All right. You got to be willing to accept delayed gratification. Okay. This is a microwave society and everybody wants something in 1 minute, and it don't even be quality. All right. Or the reality is it's not going to be quality. To make this very short and sweet, oven food versus microwave food. Okay. We already know that if you put it in the oven, it's going to be healthier and it's going to taste better. Okay. If you cook it on the pan, it's going to be healthier and it's going to taste better. Okay. No radiation, vibes, all of that. So if you think about it, for something that you think that if it's something that is saying, hey, it's going to take you by tomorrow and you're going to be able to get it by tomorrow, it's probably something toxic. right? Probably something that it has some type of radiation, right? Where it may not last long. But what I'm about to teach you today is, or what you, if you're trying to build something that sustains for a lifetime, you got to have delayed gratification. Okay, because a lifetime is longer than 6 months. Okay, 6 months is not a long time to a lifetime. All right. Number two, consistent effort is required. You must show up daily. Okay, not that you have to show up and you have to figure out what's on your credit every single day. Check that every 30 days, right? But if you have a goal and a plan and a task, then you need to make sure that you are working towards it every single day consistently. All right. Making sure you're writing down in your notebook every single day consistently, that's going to bring you closer to your goals. All right. So you have to show up every day. Okay. Number three, education is key. Okay. When we talk about consumer law, the most important part of it is the education. Knowledge is power. Okay. And applied knowledge is even more power. Okay. But start with the knowledge and take the knowledge important. Okay. This is what's going to give you the confidence to actually go full force in your journey, being fully educated. All right. Now, I will say that ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. Okay. So don't get stuck trying to fully educate yourself. Actually take action. Financial setbacks are inevitable. All right. You're going to lose money if you're trying to build a business, if you're trying to fix your credit, if you're trying to get started in something new, if you're trying to learn a new skill, if you go to college, if you work at a job, you're going to lose money. Okay. Get a new job, right? You go to a job interview. It may be 50 miles away, but this job is going to pay you way more than where you're currently working. You're going to have to, skip a day of lunch, a day or two of lunch. You know what I mean? You're going to have to take off of work to get something better. So that's what I'm saying. Money is literally like a slingshot. It's like an attraction, law of attraction. As soon as you spend money towards your better purpose, it's literally going to snap right back. We don't know when, but it's going to snap right back. But you must be consistent, be okay with delayed gratification, and be educated on these topics. And then lastly, it's a lonely road. All right. If no one hasn't told you already, this journey, yes, it's more appealing. All right. But I promise you it's a lot harder. Okay. I'll tell you why it's harder, or I'll tell you why it's a lonely road. Because nobody else is doing it. All right. I thought about this the other day. I figured, okay, nobody's going to support you or want something as much as you do. But I'll just make it even simple. It's a matrix. Everybody's working a job and everybody is on autopilot. Nobody actually knows how to run a business. Okay. Nobody knows what it takes to run a business, and nobody even knows how to truly support you in the best way that you need it. Okay. Only you do. All right. Only you have woken up and said, I want to build a business. So you can't cry if people don't want to build it with you. All right. Maybe some people are just stuck in their ways and will stay stuck. You can't wake everybody up. All right. Accept that truth and you accept it for yourself. All right. Do it because you want to do it. All right. If you're not willing to accept these hard truths, you'll have some problems. All right. Accept them. All right. Meaning that when it comes, don't say, oh my God, I don't know. Did you take the education is key is important? Oh my God, I lost money. Did you understand that financial setbacks is inevitable? Okay. Oh my God, this is taking too long. Bro, it's only been 20 days. Okay. It's only been a week. All right. I'm tired of doing this. Okay, great. That's discipline. Okay. Now, this is the problem we all face. Now, this is getting down to the nitty gritty. I want to be financially free and secure the credit that's duly mine. I needed it because this is what 90% of the wealthy use to get wealthy. But something was holding me back. Debt collectors, credit bureaus, and banks. How many of you guys can attest to that? Okay. The credit bureaus, the banks, all of them, you can challenge them with these 4 acts that I'm about to talk about. Because there's levels. All right. It's levels to credit repair. It's levels to consumer law. All right. It's levels to debt. All right. And in certain levels, you can be able to accomplish your goals. Okay. Without having to go through every single step. All right. So, for example, we're going to talk about the 3 acts: the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and we're going to talk about the Truth in Lending Act. Because in my opinion, when you are challenging any credit bureau, or when you're challenging your credit report, right? Because that's what really matters. What's on your credit report? This is what banks are looking at. So if you're able to manipulate what's on your credit report, then you don't really have to worry about whatever's not on your credit report. Does that make sense? So the first thing we want to do is we want to challenge the credit report. Because if we can get things off your credit report without having to go directly to the company, that is much better. Okay? So we want to send a letter to the credit bureaus. We want to start sending letters to the credit bureau. So we need to understand the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It's going to protect us from information collected by consumer reporting agencies. Okay? And it's going to express that there's only one bureau. And there's more information that's in the Fair Credit Reporting Act. But I want you to understand that this very section is going to break down accuracy, fairness. The fact that fairness means fairness doesn't mean whether fairness means a company isn't taking an unjust advantage of you and benefiting. Okay. So if a company is making money off of bad credit, then technically they're benefiting off of your detriment. That is not fair. That is also illegal. Okay. The second thing is accuracy, which is the measurement of value, not right or wrong. So when you think of something valuable, right? If 0 meant 0 value, okay, and 100 means valuable, all right, what does -1 mean? Or -2 or -3 or -100? What if I told you negative items do negative value, not even 0, negative? All right. And if you told them, hey, take this off my credit report because it's affecting me negatively, and I know you guys are making money off of it, they have to remove it or provide some type of documentation where you actually have given them written consent to put that on their information. But I have this understanding because I read the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I studied it. And we can't sit here all day talking about the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I need you guys to write this down in your notebook and go look at it. All right. Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which is the second layer of the consumer law process. Because let's just say you can't get certain collections or you can't get certain accounts off your credit report, you have to challenge the debt. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act is an act created to prohibit abusive practices by debt collectors. It applies to any debt collection, allows for freedom of alleged debts and mental slavery. Real quick, let me talk about the any part. Someone will say, is it student loans? Can I do my car loan? Can I do my collection account? Can I do my open account? Can I do my credit card? Can I do my utility bill? Anybody that is attempting to collect on a debt, they fall under the FDCPA. Even the police officers, when they give you a ticket, they are a debt collector by law. And all of this is under the Constitution, under the FDCPA. All right. So if a company sends you a letter in the mail, and you can challenge them under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and you can say, hey, you must provide me a proof of claim that I actually owe you debt. Okay? If you cannot provide it, then I don't owe you debt. So the FDCPA allows you to send letters like this and actually enforce that. So when you look at this 1692 through 1692P, that's for you. You need to read that so that you can be up there and be able to understand the information like I do. The Truth in Lending Act, which is 15 U.S.C. Chapter 41, 1601, which is about contracts. So we got credit bureaus, then we got the debt or the accounts, and then we have contracts. Okay? The Truth in Lending Act protects you against unfair credit billing and credit card practices. It informs you of your right to rescission. It applies to open-ended and closed-ended credit, and it establishes the truth about credit, your rights, disclosures owed to you. You are entitled to 2 times your finance charge. So when you think about it, the Truth in Lending Act is essential when it gets to a point where the company's saying you agreed to pay and blah, 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 and the debt is yours. Okay, was the contract that I quote unquote signed, was it a valid contract? And the Truth in Lending Act has many different regulations and information that you must understand if you want to challenge a contract. Now, let's talk about good debt versus bad debt. Good debt is if you're spending money, if you're spending your debt, let's just say a credit card, on something that can make you money. If it's $1,000 on shoes and you resell it for $2,000, that is good debt, okay? But only if you know you're gonna make that money back. Or if you make money from it and you're able to pay it back with the money you made, with the money you invested. I hope that makes sense. And then bad debt is when you're taking the debt and you're just investing it into things that don't make you money, such as luxury items, such as trips, unless it's for marketing purposes or to build your business or something like that. If you're spending your credit on anything that doesn't make you money or isn't going to potentially make you money, it is bad debt. Bad investments, right? I know there's plenty of people that used to rave over, oh yes, you spend $30,000 and you get this Amazon FBA store automatically ran for you. They do it and they realize that they got to do more work than they thought they had to. And they ended up squandering that $30,000. How many of us are struggling with that right now? It's hard to be nice. Now, here are some false beliefs. I'm afraid to use credit cards in my debt because what I was taught about it. What if we get too many inquiries acquiring all these cards? It's going to take a long time for me to fix my credit report. I'm in debt. That's stopping me. I don't have time to send letters. These are some solid false beliefs, right? But I'm here to break down those beliefs because everything that I teach you is going to overcome this stuff here, okay? You won't even need to have a belief. You just have to do. So, number one, the first thing you want to do is clean your consumer report. What I'm about to teach you real quick, I didn't even say, this is the phases to freedom. The phase to get out the matrix, to fund yourself, all right? And this is what I did to be able to walk away from corporate America. All right. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to clean your consumer report. Okay. You want to remove those negative items off your credit report. Okay. Why? Because this is going to help you get funding. Okay. Get those $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, $100,000 funding. Okay. Under your personal and under your business. Number two, discharge your debt. Discharge unlawful debt and keep debt collectors at bay using negotiable instruments and a due process. We're going to talk about that as well. Accelerated credit report build out, how to build out your credit so that you can be able to get proper funding under yourself and under your business. We're going to talk about funding mastery, how to get that funding, what banks to go to. And number 5, how to actually build an online brand. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to teach you guys how to get funding, but at the end, I'll throw in a bonus and teach you guys how to make money with the money that you get. Okay. And essentially what I'll teach you down to the online branding to cash, you really don't need money, but any type of money would enhance. And I'll explain that as well. Now, this is how you're going to repair your credit without any experience. Okay. You're going to use AI technology. There's 2 platforms. Well, there's multiple platforms out there, but I have a biz repair platform in the school community right now. It's only $29 a month, but you can literally go in there, upload your credit report from the platform itself. It'll create your letters and you can send it from the platform. Okay. The other platform that I'll talk about is DisputeFox. DisputeFox is a little bit more robust and particularly for like credit repair companies. But if it is just you, that biz repair platform will work perfectly fine for you. All you have to do is literally upload your credit report. It will find all the negative items and inaccurate items for you. And you just do this every 30 days. Okay. You do this every 30 days. In the next 60 to 90 days, you'll start to see negative items fall off your credit report. Okay. Once things start falling off your credit report, then you start adding new lines on your credit account. So up to 10 to 12 accounts is what I'll typically say what you want to build to. But if you want to get funding and things of that nature, I'll just say get a good 2 or 3, allow them to season over a couple of months, and that will be just enough. All right, we'll talk a little bit about how to build the account. Now, discharging your debt. Okay, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this, but I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible, just for time's sakes. So, in order to discharge your debt, you have to understand 3 steps. The first step is deciding on your method of discharge. You don't have to use every single method to discharge. You just need to pick one. Whatever one that you feel like you know comfortably and you know how to put it together, whether it's 1099, whether it's a coupon remittance, whether it's a billing error dispute or promissory note, debt validation. All of these templates I have a part of the complete debt guide and in my school community, things of that nature. If you are comfortable, you put these stuff together, all you have to do is just choose one. You don't have to use them all, at least for, a particular bill. Okay. Now, after you choose your method of discharge, if we talk about coupon remittance for a second, you would take the coupon, endorse it properly, and then right when you endorse the coupon properly, if you use, it's in requirements of endorsements, I think it's 31 CFR 328.5. I think it's that right there. It explains to you how to endorse the coupon, what words to put on it, on the bond, and the coupon itself. 1099A, 1099C is pretty self-explanatory. You just fill it out with you at the top and the lender at the bottom. Billing error dispute. I believe this is 21 CFR 1023 or 1026.23 is one of those. I'm just coming off the top of my head. But either one of these, debt validation, particularly for collections and things in that nature. Any one of these you can use. The most important part, though, if you want to take a picture of that, but you guys should know these already. The most important part, though, is the actual administrative process. All right. Now, the administrative process is how you communicate with debt collectors and credit bureaus and any other business in regards to a dispute, in regards to a debt, okay, or a contract or some sort, or something that you want to make legal. You have to take them through the administrative process. The administrative process follows like this. You take your negotiable instrument and you send it to the company with a notice. You put them on notice and you say, hey, look, this is my 1099, this is my coupon or whatever. Please have my account be reflected based off of this negotiable instrument. Typically what will happen is they'll either accept that offer and do what they're supposed to do, or they're going to just challenge you and say, well, you can't do that, we only take dollars. This is when you dive into the second letter, or I would say at this point is when you start to send them an offer, a conditional acceptance letter, which is essentially saying, hey, I'll conditionally accept what you said if you can prove this by providing this documentary evidence based on that. Okay. If you can prove that I owe you this debt, or if you can prove that this contract is valid based on these stipulations, then I will pay the debt. And typically in your notice, you want to kind of have demands, you want to have questions that they must answer, and you want to make sure that you want to make sure you have your claims and your challenges, and you're telling them what to provide proof of. Because if they do not provide proof of it, then they are dishonoring you and they have created a fault. So now, if a company, let's say 30 days go by after your first letter and they do not respond, answer any of your questions, they're still playing this game of you agreed to pay, or they're just sending you the bill, then you send in the fault and dishonor, which is the second letter, essentially saying, hey, look, I get it, right? Maybe you missed this, but I was serious about it. And I'm giving you a second chance to review this and pretty much provide me with the evidence that I asked for. If not, then we'll just constitute this as it being stare decisis or case closed. Is this for the actual company or the third party collection agency? It's for any company that is attempting to collect the debt from you. Now, in a fault and dishonor letter, really is just a second enforcement. Right? You don't go for the kill here. You go for the kill in the third letter, which is the default notice. So if you sent them 2 or 3 letters of your negotiable instrument, just enforcing and giving them chances, and they do not follow directions specifically in your letter, right? Meaning you need to put directions in your letter. All right. You need to tell them what you need them to provide, or they won't providing, you cannot hold them accountable to it. Don't just send them a template and then go, and then after that, I'm going to send the fault and dishonor, but you didn't even know what you asked them to send you. Okay? It shouldn't be what are my next steps if you knew what you sent them. Did they send you what you asked for? That's what a fault and dishonor letter, that's when you send a fault and dishonor letter. And if they continue to not send what you asked for, that is an insufficient response. That is a default notice. Okay? You send them a default notice, just like a collection agency does you. If you don't respond over 3 days, they send you that. You don't pay your bill, they send you that. You do the same thing to them. It's under the mailbox rule, and essentially you can have a company default on a contract. And when they default, you can sue them in court for defaulting. And then lastly, go to distance. The part when I say you can sue them in court for defaulting, if they default, take them to court. Okay? Have the court enforce it. Okay? So in order to make sure that you are able to enforce this legally, you want to make sure you send your letters certified and notarized. You want to find defects in their presentment to enhance your argument. And you want to file your claim with the Arbitration Association website, adr.org, and submit your documents. Okay? This is how you're going to discharge your debt. Okay? I literally broke it down in 3 steps. And yes, it may seem like a lot, but if you took notes and you go back, all right, and you just research with some of these key points, I promise you it's going to all make sense. Okay? Accelerated credit report build out. So after you discharge your debt and fix your credit, you want to accelerate your credit report by adding new lines of credit. You add new lines of credit like self-lenders, rent reporters. You can add your rent. You can add your utility bills. Any type of positive account that shows good history. Okay? The longer the history, the better. All right? So you really want your credit report to look like this diagram right here. As you can see at the top, it's 100% payment history. It's 6% credit utilization. Those top 2 things are the main reason your credit score is below a 700 is because either your payment history is below 100% and your credit card utilization is above 10%. All right. Your age of credit history, that's also a factor as well. The more history you have, the better your credit is. More accounts you have, the better your credit is. And the least amount of inquiries that you have, the better your credit is. As a matter of fact, at a certain point, if you have over 3 inquiries, you're going to get instantly denied. Formula 3, accelerated credit report build out. Have a diverse mixture of account types, not just car loans or credit cards. Okay, that's kind of self-explanatory. We kind of know that. But if you didn't know that there is an actual algorithm to the credit. Now, the credit score, it keeps score, but the report keeps track, if that makes sense. You know, the contents of your report is what truly matters, but the score kind of gives you a gauge of where you're at if you were to walk into a bank. So you can look at your score. If I can look at somebody with a 500 credit score and know that they can't walk into a bank and get funding. But if I see somebody with a 700 credit score, I have an idea that their credit report looks or has the contents that they have the buying power to go to a car dealership and get funding. You get what I'm saying? But there's some people who have a 700 credit score, but have minimal accounts on their credit, no derogatories, and can still get denied. Those are typically people who just need more age, probably more of a mix, or probably have inquiries on their credit report. Okay. Now, let's just talk about this algorithm real quick. So the algorithm's from 300 to 850. So that's 550 points that you can get in total when you are fixing your credit. So thinking about it like this, your payment history is 192.5 points. So if you get a late, all right, you're literally losing 35% of your credit. Okay, one late can tank your score over 100 points. Okay. Number 2, your utilization. Okay. 165 points. Out of that 550 points, we've already eliminated close to 400 points out of that. Just off of 2 categories, you lose 400 points. So those categories are the primary reason your credit is probably below a 700 credit score. Okay, your age can play a factor as well, but that comes with time. Your mix and your inquiries, that's stuff that could be manipulated. All of this can be manipulated, but depending on what you have to do is based on the level of work you have to do for it. You know, lates are typically harder to get off than collections. You know what I mean? Trade lines. Now, trade lines, you can actually boost up the age of your credit report by adding trade lines. Trade lines are you just people adding you as an authorized user. Okay, you can look up what an authorized user is. My first trade line was my grandmother. Why? Because my grandmother, number one, is good with her credit. She gets paid Social Security. She pays her bill on time. You dig me? And she's been doing that for 12 years. So before I went funding, I asked my grandmother to add me as an authorized user. A $12,000 SunTrust credit card that she's had for the last 12 years. Now, on that credit card, she technically could have had way more than $12,000 if she asked, but she kept telling them no. She could have had like $50,000 in credit by now. But, you know, people who don't know about credit, they tell them no because they think that's what they're supposed to do, you know? But ideally, if you don't know what you're going to invest it in, then I guess that's cool, you know, so you don't spend it crazy. But trade lines, you can pay people to pretty much add you as a trade line if you don't have like a grandmother or something like that. This is how you're going to create a fundable credit report and open up the ability to get money with banks with no rigmarole needed. Skipping these key steps, you might as well just do something else. Y'all got that? Now, this is how you're going to successfully fund yourself. So funding is not really a science, all right? Whether if you have a business, meaning you have an LLC in your EIN, you have a business, and if you have a 680 or better credit score, they're actually more lenient on the business credit side. If you have those three key things, okay, you can go to any one of these banks and get funding, okay, with no documents. Okay, people will say, well, they need my credit score. Well, they need some type of collateral if your business isn't making money. You get what I'm saying? Sorry, I got to put it that way. But if your business isn't making money, you have to be the collateral. Be okay with that. Especially why not bet on yourself? How can you tell a bank to bet on you if you won't bet on yourself? So that's how you're going to get funding. Get a 700 credit score and personally guarantee. You can go to any bank that I have listed here: KeyBank, Truist, Chase, Lightstream, BMO, Harris Bank, PSECU, Univest Bank. You can go to any one of these banks here. Okay. You just need a 700 or better credit score. Okay. Oh man, I shouldn't have to fight them and get my credit score up to do this. So you can try to fight the bank and force them to give you money and spend months, if not years, trying to get them to give you money through some type of process. Okay. Or you could just like fix your credit. Okay. And it impacts more things than just one bank. You know, you have a 680 or better credit score, you can go to any bank. And you won't have to be stuck on, oh, this bank denied me, so I'm going to keep fighting them over that. Don't do that. Okay. You'll be wasting time and not getting any results. So here's a Navy Federal cash grab. Navy Federal, low to mediocre scores. We talk about $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, $8,000, $10,000. And surprisingly, all of this was collected in one day. Okay. So I want you to imagine 70,000 collected in one day between you and your friends. Can't you start that real estate deal? You guys know Chick-fil-A, I think, only cost about like 10 or 15,000. You know what I mean? Imagine that. You put a Chick-fil-A on your credit card. Now I don't know if it's that easy. I think they do more of a background check. They check your financials and things of that nature. And you become a slave to Chick-fil-A. You only can work at Chick-fil-A. So there is some ups and downs. But to think about it, $10,000, you can easily get right now. Most of you guys can probably get a $10,000 credit card right now and open a Chick-fil-A. Like, really think about that. But some of us think we need $100,000 to get our business started. All right. Now, on a scale from 1 to 5, how much easier would it be if you got a 700 credit score and access to 100,000 in funding? Let me see the numbers in the chat. Sadie Rich said ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. That's a hard truth right there. You feel me? If you're the only one with good credit, if you're the only one with good credit in your family, then you have to pay someone. You know? Or you can have people pay you. You know? So we got some 5s. Excellent. Now, let me ask you all a question. Can you see yourself using what I showed you today to help you grow your business or get funding using consumer law? Even if you just use a small part of what I showed you today, right? I showed you a lot of different things. Even if you just use a small part, whether it's FDCPA, understanding the levels, right, from credit reports to debt collector to contracts, right? Whether it's, hey, using an AI technology to prepare my credit, whether it's starting a business and getting to a 700 credit score and building my credit, or even discharging my debt, even if it was just a small part. Okay, would you say your time's well spent? And lastly, would you like to spend more time together to go in depth on the details on how this process can work for you? Excellent. So you have two choices. You can go out on your own with this information and begin the process yourself, or you can have a person who specializes in this game give you his blueprint and hold your hand through every step in this process and be a part of a community of people who are on the same journey. I don't have enough time. All right. We spent a good amount of time. All right. There's so much I would love to talk to you guys about today. But do you mind if I just spend a few minutes just talking about the offer that I created for you guys? Excellent. Now, if you're ready to be financially free and debt free to start getting real results, then here's your next step. The Fund Yourself Academy. The Fund Yourself Academy is what you need to become financially free and get rid of all debt. Use consumer law secrets and strategies without the headache. The goal is for one to learn how to repair credit, discharge debt, get funding, and start your business. Upon completion of the Fund Yourself Academy, you'll be able to clean your credit reports. You'll be able to challenge and remove unlawful debt. You'll be in position to secure no-doc loans up to $250K, and you will learn how to start a profitable business to 6 figures. Here's how your journey will look inside the Fund Yourself Academy. You're going to learn consumer law. The first step of the consumer law phase, or the first step of anything, is to learn consumer law. Get comfortable with the information. Get comfortable with the jargon. So I'll make sure that you are taught all of this information thoroughly so that you'll have confidence to either write your own letters, challenge corporations, challenge debt collectors. So this will be the first place that we will start so that you will know your position in this economic system. All right. The second thing is we'll focus on the credit repair. My team and I will actually help you fix your credit, okay, and help you build your credit. So making sure that you understand the credit repair and you're getting your credit repaired is actually going to work on the thing that actually drives you results, okay? Because we want you to get to an 800 credit score or 700 or better so that you can actually get funding. The next step, which is the debt prone administration phase, we're going to talk about the negotiable instruments. We're going to talk about the security instruments, remittance, 1099, billing error. This phase goes with the credit repair phase because just like negative items on your credit report, debt is also negative. So we have to remove that. We don't need any accounts on there that is affecting your debt to income ratio because that is hurting your credit score. Business credit and funding mastery. This goes hand in hand because what's going to happen is whatever you can get on the personal side, you can get on the business side. Everything we did beforehand literally sets up the funding part. Okay. And either you could do it yourself, right, through going to various different banks locally, going through a various system of different banks that actually you can credit stack, or you can go and have us do it. We'll literally do the funding for you. Okay. Obviously, we'll come at a percent, but again, either way, you put yourself in position, you can get the funding up to $250K with no documents. Now, here's what you'll get. One-on-one personal support with Biz Nick. Access to the private community. Done for you credit repair. Deletion of all negative items. Complete guidance to build your credit. Business funding at 0% interest. And all my consumer law courses and resources. This was $24.97. Okay. This was $24.97. So if you're here today, okay, there's going to be a fast action given at the end. All right. And I'll put up the link right now if you guys want to take advantage of it right now. Okay. But I still have more to talk about. So here are some challenges that you may face. If you click the link right now, that fast action is on there and it's only limited to 10 units. Okay. There's 25 people here right now. So I'm sure that'll move the needle. Here's some challenges that you may face. Lack of knowledge and language to communicate with bureaus or courts. Identifying errors without prior understanding about credit and how scores work. People may not know where to start. The dispute process can be complex, and people may struggle with proper documentation needed to successfully dispute credit. Limited resources and lack of patience. This is not an overnight process, and it requires patience and consistent effort. People may become discouraged if they don't see results fast enough. Establishing good credit habits for long-term credit health, and monitoring your own progress and staying accountable and on top of it. These are some of the challenges that you may face. Look, somebody already taking action. Now, you have two paths ahead of you. All right. Path one leads to mental slavery about debt and not being able to overcome your debt. Having no patience because of lack of resources and knowledge. Continuing bad financial habits and not having or not building credit fast enough. Feeling stuck with no plan of action or not knowing the proper steps to get started. This path leads to a lot of mental and emotional stress. It leads to building more unwanted debt. It leads to exhaustion and have you feeling overwhelmed. It leads to worry and scarcity, and most of all, it leads to the fear of loss and no financial freedom. Imagine what life would look like if it stayed the same. But there's another path. This path leads to financial peace and wholeness. This path allows you to focus on your purpose and have the funds with no limitations. This path leads to becoming debt-free and fund yourself to financial freedom. Our goal is to build generational wealth and make a difference in our family tree. In path two, imagine being paid Friday, but not broke by Thursday because you already know where all the money is going. Imagine having 100K in credit and money not being a limitation. Imagine working for yourself and being able to invest your all into yourself. Pulling into your dream home with your dream car. Imagine being able to control these false debt collectors and never having to pay a bill. Saying, I am debt free. Now you've been doing this on your own. Now it's time to accept lasting change. Here's some of my testimonials. These are 4 guys that's used my strategies and been able to build a business where they have hundreds of thousands of followers, thousands of customers coming on a monthly basis, and they have hundreds of thousands in credit right now. All they did was follow the blueprint from fixing their credit, discharging their debt, getting funding, setting up their LLC, and getting online. Not being afraid to promote what their business is. The extra key that you will need after you get the funding is promoting your business. Okay? So if you want to be like these guys, tap in. Okay? Yes, this is big. We're big and we're going to help you with your credit. But anybody that works with me will literally be locked in, and you can become one of these guys. Hundreds of thousands of followers potentially, and you're able to grow your digital business. Now, here's the fast action discount. And as a matter of fact, I'm actually going to take off $500. Okay. For those of you that take action right now, when you click this link right here, I'm going to take the $497 off. Okay. But only if you take action today. Right now it says $1497. But if you take action, I'll take that $497 off. But only if you take it today. Okay, because this link won't be the same in the next 24 hours. Now, if you want to get started, you can also get started through a payment plan for as low as $375. All you have to do is go to the website, scroll down to the link. As a matter of fact, I can go ahead and do that for y'all. When you come to the website, it's very simple. All you do Just fill out your info. The price is right there. I already dropped it down. Got Afterpay, got Klarna, got Google Pay, got many different things. Now, as you can see, this is what you get. It says total payment $1,500, but it's $1,000 right here. Okay. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you can go to the section where it has the payment plans. All right. I don't know if y'all can see this tab, but this is the payment plan right here. So if you're ready to get started, tap in. Don't let money stop you from getting started. Okay. Because it's not about the money. It's about the value that you're going to get. Okay. It's about literally being able to get your credit fixed, being able to work with me one-on-one to answer questions about your business, access to the VIP community, done for you credit repair, which is going to help you delete all your negative items. I'm going to completely guide you to building your credit, help you get business funding at 0% interest, and you'll get all my consumer law courses as a bonus that you can resell. Okay. So not only is this something that you can actually get yourself to be able to be utilized, like fixing your credit, but now you can take it to learn from. And after you've learned what you've learned, you can take it and resell it. I put it to you like this. If I'm able to sell it, so can you. Okay. And the blueprint is already on my Instagram page. Every single post I make literally markets my service. So you already know what to talk about. Okay. And if you're getting coaching by me, it's going to be perfect. All right. Now, do we have any questions? The website, I dropped the website. I did drop the website here, but I don't know. I just dropped the website in the chat. For my people that have any questions, Sadie, I truly want to study first and then come in. Sadie, do as much research as you need. All right. I typically want people to work with me that are ready. All right. But if it comes to credit repair, if you need a research credit repair, I mean, you can go on YouTube, you can find out that information, or you could tap into the school community if you haven't already. Is free credit repair course in there. And I also have the AI technology, so you can tap into that too. All righty. Now, do we have any other questions before I go? Sadie, join my school community if you haven't already, and go check out the complete debt guide. All right. All righty, you guys. If there's no, well, hold on. Let me see Q&A section. Someone asked the question about the real estate, so I'll answer that real quick. Technically, you take your credit, and you can use your credit as a down payment. Okay. And the more credit that you have, the more assets that the underwriter will see. So if you have 100,000 in credit, the underwriter has to put you in a range of 100,000 in assets. Okay. So it just gives you more buying power at the end of the day. The more credit that you have, the better. Give me a list of few UCC codes to check into. Okay. UCC, or as a matter of fact, I can pull it up here. UCC 3-603, tender payment. I'm just gonna tell you. I ain't gonna explain it. All right, UCC 3-603. Write that one down. 31 CFR 328.5. Forms and endorsements for coupon. This ain't a UCC code. This is a regulation. That's 328.5 through 6. Well, that whole entire section. Obviously, we got to do the, 15 USC 1681, 15 USC 1692, Truth in Lending Act, House Joint Resolution 192. Let me pull up something else. Give you one I ain't never said before. Uh, 12 USC 3002. That's the definition of the United States. USC 1666, correction of billing errors. 15 USC section 44 explains what documentary evidence is. 15 USC 1693M, civil liability. 15 USC 1693, criminal liability. 16 CFR 681.1, account. 12 CFR 1002.1. That's your sum. Alrighty, you guys. Thank you guys for tapping in. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Hit me in the school community. Shoot me a DM or email me. Check out the Fund Yourself link. Love y'all, and I'll see y'all next time.